There's been a ton of growth since I've gotten here. Obviously, new offense, a new era, just a new culture. I think that number one is maybe the biggest factor of how they've changed, right? It's kind of changed who they are a little bit, and I've been really pleased with that. I've seen them come closer together as a group, more tight knit, and that's hard to say because they were already a pretty tight knit group. But I would say that's one of the biggest ways. But there's obviously some personal growth. I mean, a guy like Hester has come out and really Dimitri's done some really good things for us already in fall camp. I always say this, to guys that there's certain dudes that are going to make you play them. They're just going to make you play them. And I've always said, man, those guys are valuable because they can do anything and you can count on them. And Hester's kind of shown that to this point in camp. So he's had a really strong camp. Obviously, DeJounte Wester is a really talented guy. He's got a chance to be one of the best I've ever coached. And I've had some really, really good players for sure. So that's saying a lot. Burton, another one that Jaquan is a very talented guy. I think he's got a bright future ahead of him. Really, him being a leader for us, I think is going to be critical for us. And seeing him grow in that area has been a really, really good thing to see. And then, another guy that just never surprises because he's so steady and does everything right is Tony Johnson. He's another guy that stands out to me, and his ability is one that I have high hopes for his future. I think he could play this game for a long, long time.
You mentioned all those guys at receiver, and looking at the wide receiver group, it's arguably one of the deepest on this team. How does that help you in determining who is capable of being the starting receivers, especially with the amount of options you could have at the table?
Right. It's always good as coach. The coach's biggest friend is competition. So that is awesome that we have that. But I say it to our guys all the time, finding out who the starters are, it's not hard. The cream always rises, and it's very clear. Most of it has to do with dependability. If you're reliable and you're dependable, then we've got a chance to be, what we want to be. But if you're not, you're probably not finding as much playing time. I think that's one of the biggest things that, we're going to recruit you because we know you got the ability. It's our job to develop you physically and get you ready to play that position, but you got to bring the reliability. And if you're a reliable person, that means you love the game. You put the time in that's necessary to know your craft, but also know everything that you're supposed to do. It's not hard, man. The cream always rises.
And you talk about DeJounte Wester being possibly one of the best you've ever coached. How much have you seen him improve both as a player and a person?
I haven't been with him a long, long time, which I want to hold that praise for a while because he's got the talent and he's got the skills, but I haven't actually been able to coach him in a game yet or coach him throughout a season. And the guys that I have had that have gone on and they're still playing in that league that plays on Sundays, those guys have earned that. I've seen that over time. I know exactly who they are, right? There's still a lot of things that, we've got to put our players through here so we know exactly who they are before we start saying things that kind of tell us how the future is going to end, right? So, but I'll tell you this, from a skill standpoint, a tool standpoint, he's certainly got it. And then from his want to and his coachability and his love of the game, he's got it. He's got the tools. If he doesn't change, he's got a guy that can play for a long time.
And what are some areas in the wide receiver room that you have seen become more refined throughout fall camp?
Well, I think the focus has been on dirty work, right? I mean, this position, everybody talks about catches and touchdowns and things like that. And I mean, we understand that. Those are expectations, right? What we put a lot of emphasis on is dirty work. How physical you are in the blocking game, how much of an extension of the offensive line can we become? Big plays are born out of scoring blocks that are thrown down the field. Touchdowns are born out of scoring blocks that are thrown down the field by wideouts, giving unbelievable extra effort. Those are the things that we have been really focusing on, and I think that's where they kind of grown to really have a lot of pride in that toughness and that part of their game. So really it's been a focus on dirty work.
Coach, one of the things that has surprised me about LeJounte is both Coach Herman and Coach Fry have talked about how hard he works. And I think that's an odd quality to have for somebody who's been a starter and never really been pushed. What is it that LeJounte has that just keeps him wanting to work hard, and get better every day?
Right. I'm glad you asked that because it really might be the reason that I really believe he's got a chance to be one of the best I've ever coached is because he works so hard in practice. Coach Sherman and I always joke around, the guy has two speeds. He's got stop and nuclear. I mean, that's the only, he doesn't have anything in between. And if he's not going nuclear, we know that he needs a break. Right? He plays so stinking hard. And he is such a strong, powerful guy. And everybody looks at him and thinks he's small, but boy, I tell you what, he might be 5'10", but he plays 10'5" when he's out there on that football field, and that's all I care. So I think that's kind of the thing that sticks out to me is that ability and love for the game so much that he plays hard on every rep. He plays like if you took it away from him, then it would just destroy him. And that's the thing that I love about LeJohntay. Every play is like that.
Yeah. Thank you much.
All right. Thanks, man.
I feel good about the group, man. We got a good group of guys that have playing experience, and more importantly, these guys are buying into the coaches of our program. So it's been a lot of fun.
Have you seen anybody make a big jump? It doesn't have to be a starter, but anybody that's made a big jump this camp?
Man, that's a great question. I feel like our entire group has taken that next step. So these guys, like I said, buying into our win-and-no mentality, physical, mental toughness. These guys they're progressing the right way.
And they go against an offensive line that's also very experienced and deep. Is that a case of iron sharpens iron?
I agree. Coach Warner, he do a great job with those guys, man. It's a lot of fun at practice, a lot of energy, a lot of juice, man, and we're getting after each other and helping each other get better. So.
Are there some players in the D line that have seen the most improvement out of?
Say that question one more time.
Are there any players in the D line that you have seen the most improvement from?
Man, I would say just the entire group, man. Like I feel good about our group, from a depth standpoint and just how guys are working to get better every single day, man. It's fun to be around.
From your standpoint, does the defensive line have to more or less set the standard for the day? Push the line of scrimmage, get after the quarterback type of thing.
So I tell our guys, man, like I feel like our defense get the swagger from our D line. So how we approach circle drill, how we approach, the first phase of practice, and even position meetings. I feel like our defense, those guys on the back end will feed off of us up front when we're bringing some energy and juice.
I may be way off on this question, and you can tell me if I am.
All right.
But in the up-tempo offense that you're going to face, a lot of times the defensive back gets all the credit in the world. But much of that starts, in my opinion, I think, from the defensive line and being able to get penetration and do their thing to get the defensive backs time to cover the receivers. Mm-hmm. Do you see that playing out on the field?
Man, so one thing about our defense, like we have an identity, and something we talk about, that's 11 is 1. Mm-hmm. So regardless of what the offense want to do, our opponents, we want to make sure 11 guys are playing as 1. So if we're going against tempo team, whatever, different kind of personnels or whatever situation it may be, we got to make sure we're on the same page, 11 is 1.
How is Jude holding up? I saw he was wearing a boot during practice.
Yeah, Jude is fine. Yeah, Jude's doing fine.
And how do you want the D-line to finish out fall camp?
Great question, man. I want us to focus on attacking one day at a time, one rep at a time. We want to have a one-and-done mentality in everything we do. That's one of our that's our first culture pillar of our program. So when it comes to finish, like it's having a one-and-done mentality.
All right, thank you. Appreciate
Thank
it.
y'all. You're welcome.
Well, spring ball for me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, spring ball, I really didn't have an off season due to like a hamstring injury, so I didn't have an off season I want. But the growth from spring ball to now, it's been really good. This summer, I really put in the work. I really did the overtime. I really did the extra. So from spring till now, it's been a jump.
How about for the defensive line as a unit?
As a unit, yeah, the guys as a group, we put in the work during the off season. Whether that was all of us together or it was separately, I seen it. Like we all put in the work. So from spring ball to now, just buying into the defense, knowing what we're doing, knowing the scheme, everything we need to do, it's been a jump from there.
With the improvements that the D-line has made over the spring and to now, how do you feel about the competition in the group?
Oh, the competition's good, and that's what we need. When you have a good depth at D-line and competition with guys, overall you're gonna have a good group on Saturdays. It's gonna be good because I'm trying to beat this person out this spot, but he's also trying to beat me out this spot. Well, he's good, I'm good. Like we're going back and forth. Iron sharpens iron, like you say. So like as far as competition wise, it's been really good because it's keeping us. We got our foot on the gas. We know no one can let up because if you do, you're done. You feel me? Your spot can be going or your job can be going.
There were some games last year where the defense played really well, and there were some games where that wasn't the case. Do you as one of the older guys in this team, feel that hey, we got to be more consistent as a defense to get where we want to go as a team?
Definitely. Last year, the problem, I felt like we just couldn't finish, and I feel like that was the biggest problem. You know, we'll start off good, we'll have good, like you say, we'll go in good games, and then we'll have games where it's close, but then we can't finish at the end. I just feel like a big problem, we couldn't finish. So like this year with this defense, we really try to hone in on finishing, like finishing practice. Yeah, we starting off good, but how are we going to end it? You know, you start good early, but what are you going to do in the back end when you're tired? You know, when the heat's really on you. So it's really been finishing.
What are some things that you have seen this year that are new to you and you really enjoyed it
What you mean?
within the team and fall camp so far?
Oh, I mean, just how close we all are, you know, as like bonding wise, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Whether that's like everybody knows everybody. Like a kicker knows a D lineman. You know, we conversate, we're having fun with each other. You know, a receiver goes up to a safety or a D lineman as well. You know, we just all of us just connecting with each other, the bond that we have built throughout the off season to get where we are now. I feel like without a bond, you can't do anything as a team.
And speaking of that bond, how do you want that to continue developing, especially as the season gets closer and closer?
We in the thick of it now. We're in fall camp, so I feel like the bond needs to grow even stronger with us. I feel like if the closer you are as a team, the more opportunity you have to win because you don't want to let your brother down.
Good.
Okay.
Thank you.
I think we're taking on the responsibility of doing what Coach Hearn wants. He wants us to make touchdown blocks and hustle to the ball. You know, somebody could fumble. Just like an effort standpoint, we're pushing ourselves more and more each day and wanting to do what Coach wants so we can be better for the team.
I remember LeJounte telling me that he felt like the wide receivers brought the juice for the offense. Do you feel the same way? Like you guys got to kind of set the example for your teammates?
Yes, sir. Like with the new quarterbacks, we set the juice, like the tempo in practice. If we're running, they'll follow. We make a big play, it'll spark the offense. Or even if we're over there just dancing and smiling, it's contagious for the team.
How about today? I don't remember. 82. What's his number?
Oh, Jabari.
He had a big explosive play and a touchdown. Some of those younger guys are coming in. Hester has had a great week. Have you seen a lot of growth out of some of the younger guys? Even though I think you're still one of the younger guys.
Yes, ma'am. Jimmy Hester, he made a big leap. He's always been ready. It's just the coach not giving him more opportunity to show what he can do. But he's always been a dog. And Labari, he's just following our way. We study our plays. We go hard. We push each other in the off season. And it's time to show what we can do. It's all just falling in place. And then you got little Jay-Sean Platt. He's falling in place too. So it's just them falling in line.
I know generally speaking, you guys don't really care who throws the ball as long as it gets to you, but stylistically, are Daniel and Casey a little different, or do you see them as similar type quarterbacks?
I mean, D-Rich in the spring, I can't really answer that question for you right now. It's a battle, though. I'll give you that much. Whoever's throwing it, we don't really care too much. We want to just do what we can do for the team. We catch the ball when it comes our way. But we want to just see whoever can help the team and lead us to where we need to go. That's what we need.
Tony, you started contributing to the team a lot towards the latter half of last season. How do you feel now that you had time to refine your game under a new coaching staff?
Well, I feel like my game has made a big leap. Last year I played like strictly inside. They're moving me around from the slot to outside. So I feel like whatever they need me to do, whether it's like come in motion as a gadget or I'm there. If I got to down block somebody, I'm doing whatever I can for the team. I put on some weight to help. Like if I got to get in there and block, but I want to do whatever I can to help the team get what we need to get.
And how would you describe the overall chemistry between the receivers and the quarterbacks?
We're still getting there with Casey coming in a little late. We have it with D-Rich, but like those, Saturday morning throws, Casey wasn't here for those, so we're just trying to get what we can get with him and get the most out of practice reps that we can.
And what are some areas that the wide receivers group are looking to improve on as you guys close out fall camp?
Just being consistent, I guess. I feel like we can make a big play, but consistent in the standpoint of energy. When we're having a bad day offensively, somebody in our room, we need to spark offense to do what we got to do because being down just like everybody else isn't going to help anybody. We got to be different.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.